Here we go. That's what we're talking about, people. It is a Bud Light. I'm looking happy at it because I think every beer has got its time. Every beer has got its place. What I'm saying though is cheers. Let's give it a sup. Well, hello there, Perfect Drafters. How we doing? Are we well? I do hope we are. What have we got on the big bold bar? That's the question. Well, if you've watched the Perfect Draft Pro review, you know what's in it. And that's what I'm going to review right now. Right now. It's been a long time coming, in a way, because while I'd like to say it's a new keg, it's not really now. It's been out several months. It caused a bit of controversy when it came out. Reason being, because it's a weaker lager. And some people, they're not over keen on a weaker lager. They want to blow their heads off with every pint they have. That's not necessarily the case, but often, you know, with that ABV being a bit stronger, you get a bit more taste. You get a bit more punch. Big Bold Reviews, though, is not going to shy away or feel any less of a man through having a pint of Bud Light. So this famous US lager, well, I mean, Budweiser, the standard one, is obviously the famous one. But this, being a lighter version, like I say, at 3.5%, you can see why they brought it out. It's to expand the range. And also, they are looking at cracking that US market, even though this is kegged up in the UK. But still, it shows that they're looking at expanding that range, not just having the big hitters, not burning people's throats with a triple camulet or a quack, but basically also giving them the opportunity to actually have several pints and feel less battered in the morning. A Bud Light has got its place, but has it got any taste? Has it still got a decent mouthfeel? So I did give it a little sup when I was doing the pro review. I didn't give too much away, you know, I didn't shake the keg up either. So also, as you would expect with being that lighter ABV, it's lighter on the wallet as well, which is obviously a pleasure. This one, £28.90, so this now is the cheapest keg on the Perfect Draft. Now, as of recording, even though people are going, I'm never going to buy a Bud Light, I'm never going to buy a Bud Light, I'm never going to buy a Bud Light, I'm never buying a Bud Light, it's out of stock. So people have purchased Bud Light. That's fact. There's also, on the Beerhawk website, 92 reviews of this already. Now, being as this hasn't been out that long, people have had it and people have reviewed it. Also being lighter in that ABV means it's a little bit lighter in calories as well, coming in at only 152 calories per pint. So, if you are firing down the burgers, the sausages, as well as a chicken thigh, as well as a pork belly, on the barbecue this summer, it may be wise to have a Bud Light. You can have a fair few, and you're offsetting all of those calories of that meat feast with your lager. But without further, people, let's have a look at that keg. Let's do the pour. I'll bring it in. I'm hoping for some bubs on this one, especially in the famous Stella Chalice. We'll have a look at the colour of it. I never give it a sniff, so I ain't going to sniff it. We'll have a taste. I'll let you know what I think to it. And then as standard, I'll have some snackage. Right, let's have a look at that keg. Okay, so here we go, people. Here is the Bud Light keg. Now, what I have got to say with that Perfect Draft Pro is when you open that door, you can't see the keg. That doesn't make it easy for me. Why didn't you consider me, Beerhawk, when you designed that feature? Never mind. Never mind. Anyway, Bud Light, there it is. Nice blue kind of background as opposed to the standard Budweiser, which is red. So there you go. That is the Perfect Draft Bud Light keg. Anything more on there? It basically tells me hops, best barley, malt and rice. That's what it's saying. Twice as nice with the rice. You have to go a little bit further around to see that 3.5% volume. Just checking I wasn't wrong with that earlier. Bud Light. Let's do the pour. Let's give it a taste. Okay then, party people. So I did open the door to have a look at the keg, and that's why we got that little snaky snake going round. You know, I mean, it's probably doing a firmware update as well, which I didn't consider in my actual pro review. Never mind. I did shoot myself several times in the foot, so I inflicted myself enough pain because I did that mistake. Anyway, here is the Stella Chalice. Here is a Bud Light being poured on the Perfect Draft. So there we go, people. There's the pour. Let's bring it in. So there we are, people. That's not Stella. It's a Bud Light. But this glass, I've always liked this glass. And as you can see, there's the bubs. Look at them bubs. Always a nice volcano in this glass. It's a belter. So a nice head, quite foamy. I mean, if you're served that in a bar, you'd be happy. Maybe a little bit off the pint there, so you probably would have sent that back. But anyway, not bad. I've got room for a little tippy toppy too. Nice light amber colour, good bubs, nice white foam head. It's Bud Light. It's on the Perfect Draft. Let's give it a sup. There we go, people. There we go. Right, so I've got room for a tippy toppy too, which I shall do. Look at that. It's what you can do. It's what you can do. Now, this Stella Chalice as well, don't want to bang on about it, but I find it quite hard to overdo it, to get the old spillage. I know a lot of people have got the old skimmer, never used one myself, but never needed to. I'm just trying to think over the back catalogue of reviews and if I've ever messed up, and someone's now going to be going, you messed up on video 6, with your Goose Island IPA or something. But I didn't use this glass for that, so I know that's a safe bet. Anyway, here we go. That's what we're talking about, people. It is a Bud Light. I'm looking happy at it because I think every beer has got its time. Every beer has got its place. What I'm saying, though, is cheers. Let's give it a sup. Cheers, people. It's cold. Look, I mean, yeah. I like to be fair to every beer. I do. And I like to say, like I have just said, every beer has got its time, every beer has got its place. I'm struggling, I'll be honest with you, I'm struggling with this one because it doesn't seem like there's any flavour to it, really, at all. But I suppose you could say it's refreshing. If someone offered me a Kiora, is that still going? I don't know. Let's think of a different one. A fruit shoot. Or this, when I've just been sweating my nut off, doing some gardening, I would pick this. Now you might say, Baldy, you're comparing it to Kiora, you're comparing it to a fruit shoot. What are you doing? That's like comparing apples with oranges. And yeah, but, you know, I suppose in that sense, you could fire a fair few of these down very easily. Hangover, not a risk. And it's refreshing. So that's about all you can say for it. There is very, very little taste. Very little taste. But it's smooth enough. It's smooth enough. It's got some bubs. It at least does feel like you're drinking a lager because you are. And yeah, That's about all I can say for it, really. In the end of the day, if you're not a massive drinker, you know, I'm not saying I am, but if you're not a big beer drinker, you want a few sociable pints, you want it to be refreshing, but you just can't, you know, you just can't compare that to a Stella, for example. You can't compare that to a Hertog or a Jupiler. You just can't do it. And it would be unfair to the beer to compare it to those. Because, you know, they are stronger. They are at the 5.1%. And it's not trying to compete with those. Beerhawk have not brought that in to knock Hertog off its pedestal. They brought that in for people that want a lighter beer. Lower calories, nice refreshing drink, easily a few sunk with no risk of a hangover. And, you know, it's a beer. So I'm not blaming them. I'm not going to buy it again. And that's me giving away basically what I'm going to give it in a rating in a way. But I won't buy it again. But I can see it has got a time and a place for some people. I'm basically not going to rattle on any more about it because it doesn't warrant it. I'm not going to say, oh, I can taste a little bit of lemon. Oh, I'm getting a little bit of a citrus kick, because I'm not. There's no flavour to it, really. That's it. You know, it could have been a 10-second review. Probably should have been. Probably should have done it as a YouTube short or something. I've got shorts on, actually. What I'm going to do now is have a bit of snackage. So, where I found myself was in Teki Tesco's yet again, and I spotted these. I do like Kettle chips, but what these are Kettle naan bites. Yes, they are. Now, there was a fair few flavours of these. I think there was 3, maybe 4 flavours. One was like a onion, like chili and onion or something like that kind of flavour. One was a sea salt and balsamic vinegar flavour, I think. This one, though, is an Indian fusion of onion, bhaji, rice, spices and naan bread. So this is spiced onion bhaji with chili and toasted onion. Now, I like the sound of that. I'm excited. And I thought, I've got my Bud Light, which is not going to have that much flavour. I'm going to buy a snack that looks like it's got some flavour. Spiced onion. I'm going to repeat it again. Spiced onion bhaji with chili and toasted onion. Oh, huh? Do like that. I love a naan. I love a naan bread with me curry. There's nothing better than dunking a naan. I've now gone for a bit more of a Peshwari naan because I like that kind of coconutty taste. That's irrelevant. But anyway, Kettle naan bites. What's the blurb on the back? Is there any? Right. I've already said it's an Indian fusion of onion, bhaji, rice, spices and naan bread. But there is blurb below that. Eat me from the pack or pop me in the oven for 2 minutes. Oh, well, wait a minute. You can pop them in the oven. Wowzers. I didn't look at that. Didn't look at that, people. Eat me from the pack or pop me in the oven for 2 mins on a baking tray for a deliciously warm bread bite. Triple baked. Real food ingredients baked in our dough. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. They've only put it once. I've said it twice to emphasise. Nothing artificial. Nothing else on the other side. They are made in the UK. And it's a 120 gram bag. Let's see what they're like just straight out the bag. Whew. Right. I almost wasn't going to put my neb in, but now I'm going to put my neb in. Because I'll tell you something, I got a waft of spice smell. As soon as I open that, oh, I think I'm in for a treat. I do think I'm in for a treat. Just from the smell of it. I mean, what are some of the things I've had recently? Them Max Strong coated peanuts. When I've opened the bag and literally nothing's come past my big schnoz. Schnoz? Nose. Nothing. Whereas this time, yes, that smells good. Right. Let's have a go. I'm going to go for a tour. That's the size of them. If I hold it up to the Stella glass, you know, let me go for 1. Yeah. Now that's the kind of size of them. A nice, good size square, really. I'm looking forward to these. Right. Yeah. They're good. They're good. Giving it a little shake, because sometimes that can make a huge difference. If you've ever had any posh pig pork crackling kind of snacks, always give them a shake. Always. Makes the world of difference. Right, straight off the bat, when you have them straight out the bag like that, without being warmed, good flavour. Nice, tasty flavour. I mean, I'm definitely getting a little bit of warmth coming through. They're not spicy. You know, they're not going to blow your head off. Absolutely not. But there is definitely that kind of bhaji taste there. The onion bhaji taste. And I love an onion bhaji. You know, there's definitely those rich spices. That, it is what it says on the tin. Chili, not curry, kind of bang in your face. But yeah, spiced onion bhaji with chili, I'd absolutely say you're getting all of those flavours. I'm going to warm a few up. I can't resist it. Right, that's a first, that a snack has taken more preparation than the beer. It's a first for me anyway. So I've been in, there's no cooking instructions. It literally just says, or pop me in the oven for 2 minutes. It doesn't say what gas mark, doesn't say if you've got to preheat the oven. So I did a little bit, you know, preheated for about 3 minutes, lobbed it on gas mark 7, popped them in for about 3 minutes, even though it says 2, because I thought I hadn't really heated it that much. And then I pulled them out. Don't take them as by any means the official cooking instructions for Kettle naan bites. Well, that's just what I did. But they're warm. They are warm. And I just thought, will it change the taste? Let's give it a blow. Give it a blow. Let's give it a go. Oh. That's cheeky. That's got some cheekiness. So then, people, right. I quite like them. They're not bad at all. Warmer, I think they're a bit better. Not bad at all. Let's grade the beer though first. I'm going to say for the Bud Light, it has to be very, very unique situations to make that better than other lagers on the Perfect Draft. It doesn't hold a candle to the majority of them. Simple as that. But it is because it is obviously a much lighter beer. It's positioned differently. That's what you've got to accept. So, I'm not going to say it's the worst beer in the world. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say, oh, it's only one step up from water. But would I buy it again? No. It's got its time, it's got its place, but basically I'm still only going to give it a 5. It gets a 5 because for those people that are not massive beer fans, you know, but do want something that's easy drinking, very easy drinking, and you can have a few of them, no risk of a hangover, that could be supped. So it gets a 5. Those Kettle naan bread things, which the packet I left in when I cooked these little beauties, then I had a bit of a nightmare with the camera battery. That's why the bag's no longer here. I'm not going back in the house again. I've done it too many times. I've burnt too many calories, even if I am drinking a Bud Light. Those Kettle naan bread things, I'm going to give those a 7.5. Warm, it might touch an 8, but overall, I'm just going to give them a 7.5. So not bad. So there we go, Perfect Drafters. That is the Bud Light review off the Perfect Draft. What I'm going to say to you though is this. No matter what you're doing, no matter what you're supping, if the sun's shining, let the ale flow and enjoy whatever you are doing, people. Have an absolute belter of a weekend. I hope you enjoy. For now, cheers, Perfect Drafters. Cheers.